Hi everyone, I'm going to show you today some of the features available to you on a Google Video Hangout. There are two different kinds of video hangouts available. There are your straightforward Google Hangouts that you can access through your Gmail, your calendar, or through the web application. And it's kind of like a no-frills version. It just strictly allows you to have face-to-face conversations. It does give you some very basic settings, which we'll review in a moment. But in addition, I also want to point out that there is Google Hangouts on Air, which is what I'm using right now. And the difference with that is Google Hangouts on Air allows you to have certain features. It also allows you to broadcast your video live over your Google Plus page, and it will record your video and store it on your YouTube page. So that can come in handy if you're having a conversation, a discussion, a presentation, or a collaboration that you want to refer back to at a later date. So the first thing I want to show you is the control bar up at the top of your screen. If it's not there, all you need to do is simply hover your mouse and you'll get the person plus sign. And this is how you invite people to your Hangout. So when you click on that, you'll either get, you have the ability to use either a link to post and have people click and simply join your Hangout by clicking on your link, or you can type in names and email addresses from your contacts, or an email address that is not in your contacts of somebody whom you want to invite to your Hangout. And then you would just click the invite button. Okay. This is the microphone button. So that gives you the ability to mute your microphone. So it does come in handy when you're on a Hangout and you're not the one speaking. It is nice for you to mute your microphone so that your background noise does not interfere with the speaker. There is a camera button here that would turn your camera on and off. So if I were to click that, it turns my camera off. It presents the picture that I have associated with my Google account. If I didn't have a picture associated with my Google account, it would be a circle with the first initial of my name being projected. So in order to turn your camera back on, you would just re-click that camera button. Next to it is the ability to adjust your bandwidth settings. And this comes in handy. I actually did use this today. You can slide this button to use a lower bandwidth or slide it up to use a higher. Higher bandwidth will give you better resolution in your picture, but a lower bandwidth will help with these if you're having problems with delays or your internet being slow. Again, I'm going to hover my mouse up there so that bar comes back. Here it is. And I'm going to click on this gear here, and that's my settings. This gives me the ability to choose which camera is being used, which microphone is being used, some volume settings, and some voice settings. Okay, next to it is that red telephone, and that's simply used to hang up your call. Over on the left side of your screen are the bells and whistles of Google Hangout videos, so to speak. And if you click on this blue chat box here, this gives you the ability to chat in your call. So all members of your Hangout will see the chat box open, and you can simply type whatever message you want to relay to the entire group. So I'm going to put that I want to share a Google Doc with the group. And just by typing and hitting enter, it will appear as a message to the group. And you'll notice on the right-hand side of your chat box, where did it go? There it is. It was a little slightly delayed. On the lower right-hand side of this chat box here, you'll notice that there is the symbol for Google Drive, that triangle. So if you click on that, you can actually insert links directly from your Google Drive to share with everybody in your Hangout, which is an amazing collaboration feature. So I'm going to give it a moment. Bear with me. It's a little bit slow today. And so my Google Drive is slowly loading here. And it does give you a link to click on, but it also gives you a preview, which is nice as well. Still loading a little bit. Sorry about that. And again, you'll find that the reliability and your how quick your files load and your features work all depend on the internet and the source of the internet that you're using. So, of course, some networks will just be faster than others. So, I am waiting. It's a little delayed as I'm trying to scroll here. But I do want to give you a visual of what it looks like when it is up and ready. Here we go. So I'm going to click on this link here and click select. And it's going. And there's my link. Okay. So again, it was a little slow and I apologize for that, but it isn't always. It all depends on the internet connection that you're using. So here is the preview of my document as well as the link to access it. Okay. Going back to the left-hand side of your screen, there's a screen share button here. So I'm going to click that to show you what that looks like. You can share any of the tabs that are open in your screen. So you can choose where you want to share your screen. And you can choose whether or not you want to present this to everyone or and then just hit stop when you're all finished. Okay. So I'm going to hit stop and it brings me back to the regular view. Okay, so there are some features and applications on your Google Video Hangout that are not by default loaded already. So the Showcase app and the question and answer app are not default. Those are programs that you'll have to go into and accept some terms and conditions in order to use those. You do have the Cameraman app on the left-hand side, and that kind of gives you some options about how to the rights that other people joining your call have and how their cameras work when joining in on your video chat. So that's going to open up in a second. And it's broadcast settings. So as they join in, you can choose to hide their audio or their video. And whether or not they're muted. So I'm going to close that because I want to make sure that I get to a couple of others here that are some fun features to use. There's also the control room. Again, it's specifying and personalizing. You actually have control of your participants and their microphones and videos during your video hangout on air by using this application here. And now for the fun ones. Google has automatically given you access to effects by default. So I'm going to click on that. And this is some fun ways to add some bling, for lack of better words, to you or yourself or your participants. So let's see, is it loading up? Here we go. It does take a second when you first use them. So I can give myself a hat by clicking on this Dr. Seuss hat here. And there I am. And so we can have a video chat about Dr. Seuss while wearing Dr. Seuss hats. The other app on your left-hand side of your screen is a Google Draw, and that gives you the ability here, this pencil, to draw directly